SMS is an important aspect of the International Safety Management (ISM) code, and it details all the important policies, practices, and procedures that are to be followed in order to ensure the safe functioning of ships at the sea. All commercial vessels are required to establish safe ship management procedures. SMS forms one of the important parts of the ISM code. The Safety Management System, SMS, therefore ensures that each and every ship comply with the mandatory safety rules and regulations and follow the codes, guidelines, and standards recommended by the IMO, classification societies, and concerned maritime organizations. Guidelines and standards recommended by the IMO, classification societies, and concerned maritime organizations. Every safety management policy should satisfy some of the basic functional requirements to ensure the safety of every ship. They are Safety and Environmental Protection Policy, procedure and guidelines for reporting accidents or any other form of nonconformities, clear information on the level of authority and lines of communication among ship crew members and between shore and shipboard personnel, procedures and guidelines to ensure safe operations of ships and protection of the marine environment in compliance with relevant international and flag state legislations, procedures for internal audits and management reviews, vessel detail. In short, a safety management system would consist of details as to how a vessel would operate on a day-to-day basis, what are the procedures to be followed in case of an emergency, how are drills and training conducted, measures taken for safe operations, who is the designated person, etc. The safety management plan is mainly the responsibility of the owner of the vessel, or the designated person, or the person appointed by the owner. However, the ship's master and the crew are the best people to make an SMS. Sections. An SMS is divided into sections for easy reference. They are General, Safety and Environmental Policy, Designated Person, DP, Resources and Personnel, Master's Responsibilities and Authority, Company's Responsibility and Authority, Operational Procedures, Emergency Procedures, Reporting of Accidents, Maintenance and Records, Documentation. Example of work permits. An emergency situation on the ship must be handled with confidence and calmness, for hasty decisions and jumping to conclusions can make matters even worse. Efficient tackling of emergency situations can be achieved by continuous training and by practical drills on board vessels. However, it has been seen that in spite of adequate training, people get panic attacks and eventually do not do what they should in an emergency situation. As far as the seafarer is concerned, first and foremost, he or she must be aware of the different types of emergency situations that can arise on board a ship. This would help in understanding the real scenario in a better way, and would also lead to taking corrective actions to save life, property, and environment. We have prepared a brief instruction. Emergency Situation Guide. Officers and crew should familiarize themselves thoroughly with the fire training manual and the training manual on life-saving appliances of the ship. General alarm. In case of a general alarm, the general alarm in a ship is sounded to make the crew aware that an emergency has occurred, such as fire, collision, grounding, or a scenario that can lead to abandoning the ship, etc. The vessel general alarm system activation point is located in the navigation bridge. Rush to muster station with a life jacket, immersion suit, and act according to the vessel's muster lists. Act as per the emergency. Fire alarm. A fire
5
alarm
o'clock.
system warns people when smoke, fire, carbon monoxide, or other fire-related emergencies
o'clock.
are detected. These alarms may be activated. In case of a fire alarm, inform officer on watch. Check if it is a false or true alarm. Report back of findings. In case of fire, raise the fire/general alarm as soon as possible. Try to stop fire. And overboard signals. Man overboard is an exclamation given aboard a vessel to indicate that a member of the crew or a passenger has fallen off of the ship into the water and is in need of immediate rescue. In case of man overboard signal, rush to the deck and try to locate the crew member fallen in the water. Throw life buoy and inform deck. Abandoned ship signal. The abandonment of a vessel follows after the crew and the people responsible have done everything they could to prevent the danger and ensure the safety of everyone on board. The master is the one to give the order to abandon the vessel after all safety attempts have been attempted. In case of abandoned ship signal, rush to the muster station. Carry as much ration, water, and warm clothing as you can carry. Act according to the vessel's muster lists.
Abandoned ship.
Engineer's call. In case of engineer's call, all ship engineers should assemble in the engine control room. Engine room flooding. In case of engine room flooding, chief engineer should be called immediately and a general alarm should be raised. Immediate action should be taken in preventing more seawater to enter the engine room and emergency bilging from the engine. Cargo hold flooding. In case of cargo hold flooding, the master must be informed immediately. Precautions must be taken to contain the flooding to that hold. The general alarm must be raised. Pollution prevention. In case of any oil spill/pollution, immediate action should be taken according to the emergency plan, SOPEP, and onboard SOPEP equipment. Locate vessels, shipboard oil pollution prevention plan. In case of any other emergency situations, call for help either by using the phone or by activating the emergency call. Whatever might be the situation, keep the master, chief engineer, and officer on watch informed of the situation all the time. Safety posters communicate the importance of proper procedures and practices throughout the workplace. Material Safety Data Sheet, or MSDS, used on ships. A ship has to carry different types of cargo, which includes oil cargo, chemical cargo, and cargo in gaseous form. These types of goods are hazardous for marine environment as well as for the health of seafarer. Apart from carrying cargo, the ship carries different types of chemicals and solutions which are used for several marine operations. A material safety data sheet is provided for such cargo, and also for chemicals carried on board which are used for maintenance purpose. Hazards on board ship. Different hazardous goods like fuel oil, lube oil, chemicals, LNG, LPG, etc. Cargo carried in containers under IMDG code. For maintenance and operational purpose, different kinds of chemicals are used on board which can be hazardous. They are mostly used as cleaning agents, for water treatments, for dosing in fuels, and as an additive in sanitation systems. Purpose of MSDS. MSDS is carried on board for ensuring the safety of marine environment and seafarers. MSDS provides useful and accessible information on the product carried on board, either as a cargo or for operational purposes. MSDS is to be carried out for all individual hazardous material carried on board along with proper personal protective equipments, PP, so that in the time of emergency, appropriate procedures and swift response can be achieved in that situation. Legislative requirements. As per SALAS Regulation 5-1 complying with ISM Code, merchant ships are mandates to carry MSDS on board, if ships are carrying a MARPOL Annex I cargo or bunker on board. Content of MSDS. Hazard identification along with identification of the mixture or content, composition or information of the ingredients, firefighting measures, first aid measures, accidental release measure, handling and storage criteria, personal protection and exposal control methods, chemical and physical properties of the mixture, information about the toxicity of the material, ecological and disposal information, transport and regulatory information, additional information on the preparation and revision of MSDS. Manufacturer's instructions, health and safety at work. It is always advisable to follow manufacturer's instructions to understand the operations of a piece of equipment. However, when we are at home, generally the man will throw away the instructions, then try and build or set up the equipment, get frustrated that it doesn't work, ask his partner to fish out the instructions from the dustbin, and then admit defeat. So other than how to set something up, what other use are the manufacturer's instructions? Well, there is safety legislation that provides a duty to manufacturers to provide suitable information and instructions on safe use. So where is this duty listed? Surely you can guess? Probably the Health and Safety at Work Act? You would be correct, in particular Section 6 of the Act. It is also stipulated in a European regulation, the Supply of Machinery, Safety, Regulations 2008 referring specifically to the components of the article and lifting equipment. HSSE is the abbreviation for Health, Safety, Security and Environment and describes the processes or activities, planning, implementation, control, optimization that are carried out by companies to ensure health, safety, security and environmental protection, especially in the working environment.